good team a year ago. You got a lot of talent. But there's going to be a lot of really tough games on the schedule this year, David. So why not start early right here in week 1 and come shooting out of the cannon?
Shooting out of the cannon.
There's a crease. Got some room in to the goal line. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Wolverines. They strike first, and that opening drive of the season could not have gone better.
And you knew his legs were a weapon, and he shows it to you right there, running it into the end zone. And this offense, man, they are a good offense, and they are in a good rhythm early in this football game. We talked about the quarterback. We talked about his speed. He can make these type of plays, and on the first drive, Palmer, the defense didn't have any answers. They better find some.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find them, too, just because of that athleticism and just how he can attack defenses with his arm, with his feet, the different playmakers surrounding him as well. There's a lot to get prepared for in a week when you're playing against this offense, and I just think they saw everything there on that opening drive. They're going to have to do some soul-searching on the sidelines early.
They're going to run it to the right. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground? That is a ball.
Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Rides to the back. Good surge up front. Give him 4 out to the 18. The Longhorns want to crank the tempo. Keeping it on the ground inside. It's Smothers. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a 3rd down stop.
This is an interesting decision now for the head coach. You're trailing very early in the game. There's a lot of football left. But you're in a situation where you could go for it here and try and answer after your defense gave up that touchdown on the opening drive.
And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. Wolverines offense heads out, ready to go on the attack. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Guys, let's chat about Michigan. We mentioned the number of players they lost, but you can only focus on the guys who are wearing your uniform. Can't worry about those who left. Have to worry about those you have. But any concerns that you guys have about making moves like this?
I think excitement more than concerns, honestly. They got some key guys that had success in other programs, and I think the fans today, David, are interested to see how these guys play today.
Well, and how they come together, because you've seen these players in other spots, but now a new system, new coaches. How do you gel? How do you start your career off?
Well, no doubt that's where the quarterback wanted to go with the ball from jump, but better job by the defense forcing the incompletion.
It'll be 3rd and long. Here's Bryce Underwood to throw. Gliding to the right, still trying to make a play. He's got it. Doesn't quite make it to the 1st down marker. He's a yard short.
Really nice job in execution there on that 3rd down through the passing game. All of a sudden now you've got a decision to make because you're in field goal range. But do you have the confidence to leave your offense out there to pick this 1st down up and go looking for a touchdown? This is a big decision right here for the head coach.
A 51-yard field goal is not really unreasonable in terms of range, but they'll try to convert on 4th down. They'll run for it. Finding some room. He's got enough, and they roll the dice on 4th down, and they
offense territory. Now here's an opportunity where you might be able to be...
Breaks into the open. Gives him the big stiff arm. Touchdown, Michigan. How about this back staying on track and getting it in on the option?
And that's a big problem for this defense. When you get that guy in space, it's hard to catch him. You've got to bottle him up near the line of scrimmage. Palmer, too much daylight too early in that run.
Yeah, you're right, David. And I think that's what makes this guy unique. With his skill sets, you just know it's a matter of time. You just keep giving him the football. Good things are going to happen. Long touchdowns are going to happen. You saw it right there.
They'll grab the squib kick just inside the 10. Let's see if this offense can get out of a hole as they start this drive at their own 8. Running back searching for a hole. Makes it past the marker. At the 35, he's loose. Racing down the left side. The 20. Inside the... And he got away from the defense and takes it in. Touchdown, Texas!
That's a nice job by the offense there in their second drive. I know in the opening possession you go 3 and out, you're scratching your head. That didn't obviously go the way you wanted to, but a good job of sort of collecting yourselves, going through the next couple play calls, and making sure everybody's back on the same page. We saw this offense, David, on this drive really be in sync and finally find the rhythm.
You got to like the answers, right? Like sometimes you come out, sometimes you're situated and you're ready to rock and roll and it comes out hot. Sometimes it doesn't, but I like the response. Their defense does their job, gets them the football back. They come out, execute. Nice job getting on the scoreboard.
Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. The early scripts have worked trying to add to this 14-7 lead. And go play action, Bryce Underwood. Gonna take a shot at this DB. Makes the grab at the 10. Touchdown, Wolverine. He broke away from the defense and they couldn't catch him.
It hasn't taken very long this season to just see how scary this offense is. They wanted to be aggressive coming out to start this season, and you've seen that with the play calling on this drive. It does not take these guys with their speed very long to score. Watch out. This unit has a chance to be special.
Let's see what he can do with the return. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Hey, a lot of work to do as this drive will start from the 16-yard line. Looking for space. It's Smothers. There he goes. Ripped past midfield. Finally stopped at the 42, and that's the kind of chunk play that gets drives going.
That's got to make you feel good offensively. The first game of the year, and early you're able to break off a long run. We know for them, they take pride in their ability running the football, and they're getting that established early this season.
Sets up the screen. And it's pretty obvious there was a big hole in that screen, and the defense ran right through it. The Longhorns trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Going to the ground.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
Big noise, big house, trying to rile up this Michigan defense on third down. fighting his way toward those sticks, but they'll stop him a couple of yards short. We've reached the end of the period, and Michigan has the lead. Man, that was an impressive and dominant first quarter. Let's take a look at the stats before we move on. This could be a pivotal moment in this game as we open the second period and they try to find a way to answer. And the Longhorns looking to convert on fourth down. Snap it to the back. He's got enough for the first down, and they roll the dice and convert to keep this drive going.
And in these situations, you're never looked at poorly, right? You can go for these situations because it's a really long field goal, so it's not a guaranteed make, or I can be aggressive offensively, and I like the choice. Be aggressive, get the first down. Nice job by the offense.
This time they stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that has been rare in this one.
Well, this guy's been an animal all game long. He's had tons of success running the football. The defense had to do something to stop him. Give the D-line and that front seven tons of credit for being really physical there, getting the TFL.
Running inside, it's Smothers. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. They've started a pretty good drive. This will be the seventh play, but they need to convert 3rd and 5. Using his legs, it's Smothers. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down.
And this offense, I don't think this is going to be a surprise. I think the offense is going to stay on the field. You've already seen it once on this drive, and they've already been successful. You know how hard it is to defend when there's an extra down, and they do it over and over again? So I think this offense will continue to stay aggressive like they were in the last 4 quarters.
On 4th down on this drive, they are unafraid to make everywhere 4-down territory. Big man has it. It's a first down and more. And he cruises his way to the house. Touchdown, Longhorns! Some much-needed life from this offense as they try to cut away at this lead.
No doubt. Needed something to go right. You're down. You got to make plays. You got to get your team back in it. Great start. Keep chipping away.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. The Michigan offense heads out to get this drive started. They saw what happened on that last scoring drive, and now probably feeling a little bit of heat to answer. Finds his man. It's Marshall. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. Here's why this one's so much fun, guys. Early in the season, sort of a proving ground type of game for a couple of squads that believe they could win it all.
And we've heard so much in this offseason, right, about both of these teams and top 10 teams preseason. Now you get a chance to prove it. Like, now you get a chance to see who are the dudes on the squad. These are always fun early in the season, Jesse.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to find out what these teams are about because we've seen both teams beat up on weaker competition. We know they're both very talented, but let's see good against good.
Pulls it in down the sideline. Flying out to the left. Touchdown, Michigan. This crowd absolutely loving it as he rolled into the end zone.
How about him? Nice job catching the football and then turn it into a playmaker. Turn it into a small, wide receiver. The tight end shows off the ability to run after the catch, make a big play, and get the big touchdown.
But he did get that extra point through the slippery surface, no problem. Nice grab to get that squib kick inside the 10. And good work by the coverage team to knock down the return man.
Whew, that's a breathing a sigh of relief for sure. Kick returner tries to take it out, puts it on the ground, but how about the offense? Getting back on it, turning what could have been a really bad play into, thank goodness I got the ball again.
Using his legs, it's Smothers. Defense right there to stop him in his tracks, and they get nothing on that play.
Linebackers in today's football, obviously, guys have gotten smaller. They got to play in space more, cover fast guys out on the perimeter. But how about this linebacker coming downhill and making a physical tackle in the hole?
Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. Pocket breaking down. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
You want to make a guy that's elite, that's one of the best in the business, start to become more and more human, and keep getting hits on him. Nice job by the defense, getting in his face, being physical. Make him feel your presence. Don't let him get comfortable back there in that pocket.
Arch Madness. Flips it out on the screen. He was looking everywhere for more running room and couldn't find it. He'll be 4 yards short, and it's fourth down. Manning to throw for it on fourth. He's brought down, but not before he picks up the first down, and a gutsy call to keep this drive alive. And the Longhorns racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Man, the offense got away with one there. That was supposed to be a running back screen. Instead, the quarterback threw it somewhere else. And with all the offensive line running way down the field, they're lucky that wasn't a penalty.
And I love linebackers, man. They just have a nose for the football, an absolute feel. Great job not losing vision, feeling the running back start to come out of the backfield to catch the football, and then doing the most important part. Probably the hardest, too, getting him on the ground.
After the 4-yard completion on first down, now it's 2nd and 6. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
Well, they're trying to get that run play going to the outside, but it's the defensive end who does a great job winning his one-on-one and forcing the negative play.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Calls his own number. Got enough for the first. He moves the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 33. They'll rush to the line. Clock stopped for the first down. They'll set the chains and wind the clock. This quarterback part of their running game. Here's a little room there. Big pickup on that one. They'll mark him out at the 40.
And as a defensive guy, man, when you play a QB like this that will take off and run and has the speed to make you pay, it just limits what you can do. It limits the amount of coverages. It just makes you play a lot more hesitant. And you can see right there, man, the guy's got speed. Interested to see how this defense continues to attack this QB.
Oh, that was less than choreographed. Everybody going on. Snap count there. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. So important to keep your concentration. Get off on the snap count, not before it. It's 1st and 15. And they're able to shove him to the turf as they stop him for a short gain.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Throwing Manning. Quick completion on the out. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup.
Well, you can tell those two have been practicing the out route all off-season long. They look like they could have completed that in their sleep.
Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on third down. Now here's Manning. The sweet feet keeping the play alive. He'll throw it. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a fourth down.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. And the critical down and distances in this game, like that third down right there. When it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You've got to be able to make that play.
But look at this. They're not setting up to punt. They're going to try to cut into this lead, and this is a huge risk late in the half. Fourth down, Manning. Converts on fourth down. Still going. Turning it on. And the catch and run into the end zone. Touchdown, Longhorn.
That's exactly what this offense needed to do. You talk about answering at the right time, right before the half, close this gap, create some momentum, go into the half, put something together, try to come out with your hair on fire and win this second half.
And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Play fake, Underwood. Rushes on him. Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
Well, the defense is fast. If you can hit that quarterback with his speed and force those incompletions, man, that is impressive.
Last incompletion leaves them still sitting at their own 25 with 2nd and 10. This time on target. And an absolutely fearless tackle, giving up size, still got him on the turf. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. Oh my goodness, he's still moving. He's running free down the middle. Touchdown, Michigan. Just blew his way through a couple of defenders and reached Payton.
And how big is that for this offense? Put a nice drive together, get the touchdown, add to this lead already. Everything right now, Palmer, going their way.
Yeah, that was as good a two-minute type situation as you could have offensively. And David, they've got so many weapons on this offense. They practice these situations all the time, and they put it to work here at the end of the first half.
He'll start the return inside his 5. This late in the half, here's the question. How aggressive will the play calling be? On the run, it's Smothers. He'll push his way forward for a few, and the clock will continue to run. Now the Longhorns will call the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 left to work with before the half. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. To throw, Manning. He wants to go deep. Pulls it in down the middle. Timeout taken by Texas. It's their 2nd. And they'll still have 1 in their pocket for what's left in this first half. Running running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Looking for a man. It's Manning. Escapes the pressure to his right. Now he'll turn one loose back to the middle. Pass is incomplete, and we dwindle down to 7 seconds.
Well, they hooked up already once for a score today, so the quarterback's going back to him again deep down the field, but it falls incomplete.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Here's Arch to throw. They're working that left side. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. And as we work our way toward halftime, timeout on the field. Just enough time to get off one final play of the half. They tried to go smash mouth on 3rd and short, and it did not work against this defense. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update. We're just about ready to start the second half. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time. Offense took a little bit too much time at the line there. Looking for a crease. It's Smothers. They didn't get a push at all on that one. It'll be no gain on the play.
Now, you want to be a great run defense, your DBs have to be great tackles. And I love the way he comes up, sees the run. I know he makes the money in the back end covering passes, but when you got a guy that can fly up and make tackles, man, does your defense go to a different level.
Reads it, fires complete.
He was not fooled on that one. You know, a lot of times you want to buy space, and you throw this route really when it's off coverage. But you can tell the cornerback was up, ready to come, pounce on that screen, and get the tackle for a loss.
3rd down from the gun, Manning. Quickly out to the tight end. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. They're getting to the line quickly and staying out there on 4th down. Manning to throw for it on 4th. Trying to make magic. Makes the grab, ready for the first down. Lots of room to run. And he's in for the touchdown, but hang on just a second. There is a flag on the field. A pretty easy call for the officials. It hurts nonetheless as the illegal forward pass takes the score off the board. This offense has it with really good field position. Underwood. Throws for the tight end. Makes the grab. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines.
And you got to love seeing that if you're the head coach of this team, right? You always want to see your team start fast early in games and then also start fast at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. You had a big lead. You take the ball right away here in the second half. You drive it down the field, and you scored. This offense has been dialed in right from the get-go. It's been very impressive to watch.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. And the returner could find no daylight. He goes down. So Texas has it again, and here comes the offense. There's still plenty of time, and you see that 21-point deficit, and there is a sense of urgency now. The ball's free. Defense scoops it up, and he's headed the other way. He managed a few. On that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
You know, oftentimes when you're playing in conditions like this and it's raining, you'll see a lot of the skill players offensively take off the gloves because they want to be able to feel the football. They think it gives them better control of it. And I don't know if that played into the football going on the ground there, but you know that ball security is going to be one of the biggest factors in this game moving forward.
And that's kind of a lot of today's running game, right? Spit the ball out quick, get it to your playmakers in space, get positive yards. It's instead of running the ball a couple yards up the middle, now you just spit it out wide, and a lot of times if you break a few tackles, it could be even bigger.
In the red area, it's Marshall. Noses his way forward, maybe gets one. They'll mark it at the 18.
And that run really didn't go anywhere, and a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
The Wolverines are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Sends it back in motion. Bryce Underwood from the gun on 3rd down. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, and you just wonder if the defense now has taken out some frustration. Obviously, they've been getting lit up all over the place. And that time, they finally gave it back to the offense there. Really nice, big, clean hit. This defense needs a little bit more of that as the game goes on. Give the defense a ton of credit in this sudden change situation. Their offense just coughed it up. And this defense comes out, they go 3 and out and force a field goal. That's a win if you're on defense.
Maybe some nerves on that return, but a fortunate bounce, and they'll retain possession.
Wow, they narrowly avoid disaster there. They fumble the kick return, and if that goes to the other team, all the momentum is no longer with them. So a nice job being able to pounce back on that. And the head coach breathing a huge sigh of relief.
Nice first down defense. Great job being physical, understanding the chances of run are high. They come up, they get the back on the ground, forcing a 2nd down and long situation.
They'll keep it on the ground. Finds a little bit of room, picks up 4 out to the 13. Looking to convert, they'll go to the Wildcat. On the snap, it's Smothers. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down.
Coming out in the second half, this offense, they needed to establish this run game. They needed to get something going. They're losing. They've got to find a way to get a flow.
Look at this, guys. The offense appears to be going for it from their own side of the field. 4th down, Manning throws to the wideout. Still running at the 40. He's got enough, and they roll the dice on 4th down, and they keep the drive alive. The Longhorns moving quickly to the line.
Well, that tells you a lot about their confidence in this quarterback. 4th down early in the game on your own end, and you go for it, but when you make decisions and throws like that, it's easy to see why.
Good pick up there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41.
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm, creates the big play. And look at them. They're right back on the football, ready to run another play.
I got to be honest. I know the defense respected this guy's running ability. I don't know, though, if they knew it was this good. He has been gashing them in this game with his legs, and already you're seeing the defense now make some adjustments to slow this guy down. They were able to get him to the ground. He's still got a couple yards, but this has got to continue for this defense. You know he is going to carry the ball.
Down to the 32 and out of bounds right there.
And that's a missed opportunity by the defense, because if this quarterback is going to decide to run the ball, you have got to make him pay. You at least have to hit him and put him on the ground. I know they didn't give up a big, long, explosive run, but you got to get shots on this guy when you can. That time they let him get out of bounds.
He unleashes a long one. Caught. They will score. Touchdown, Texas.
Yeah, and this offense needs a spark, man. Down big. Listen, it's game one. It's not the end of the world, but we got a deficit. Got to put some drives together. Nice drive here. Now the defense needs to do their part because they got to put this thing in turbo.
No backs with the quarterback as they line up for the 2. Arch is going to throw for it. Sweet grab in the end zone for the 2.
And that's tough to defend, right? Going 5 wide, spreading us out across the field. These windows become a little bit bigger when you do that, and they were able to convert, and as a result, they walk away with 8 points on the drive.
Now the Wolverines call a timeout. It's their first. And that will leave them with just 2 timeouts to use the rest of the way. On the run from inside his own 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll get things started on this drive from the 24. Back to pass, it's Underwood. Lets it fly. He's got it down the left side. Finds some room. Touchdown, Michigan. And the route is on.
Well, you got to give the quarterback a lot of credit on that one, David. As soon as he recognized man coverage, there was no question where he was going to be looking. One of the fastest wide receivers in the game.
I was about to say, you credit the quarterback. It's his speed. You play him man-to-man, he gets open, he wins. I'm not sure why we're crediting the quarterback. He's got jets.
He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. And he'll be brought down after a solid effort on that return. Opening snap of this drive comes from the 31-yard line. Manning. Got his man on the right. Oh, sweet feet. Makes the grab in their space. Past the 20. And he eluded the defense, and he'll take it all the way. Touchdown, Texas! His 3rd touchdown of this game, and his 3rd on the season. Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step 1. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step 1 accomplished.
Trying to slam in. Grinding and churning close to the goal line, but he'll be stopped inches short. The officials blow the whistle to stop play. There is a Longhorn shaken up. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. Nowhere to go on that one. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And these RPOs always put the defense in a bind. But listen, you give up the run, they get a short little gain, no harm, no foul.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. We've reached the end of the period, and Michigan has the lead. We take just a minute to look at the stats as they are threatening to put this one away. Just about ready to go in the 4th, and we'll see if any drama can be mustered. So the final period starts with a second down play. Pulls it on the option. Makes a stop in the backfield. He'll lose 4.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
He'll pull it down and run. He steps out right at the 40-yard line, and now they are in business moving toward midfield.
And that's a big reason why this offense is so dangerous. If they get the lead, because of this guy's scrambling ability, they can just close the door, put that foot on your throat, and not take it off. Nobody was open that time. It looked like he was going to get sacked, and he just very nonchalantly was able to buy himself some time. He gets outside, uses his speed, picks up the first down. The offense stays on the field. They've already got the lead, and now they're just bleeding this clock away.
They'll move the wide receiver. Might have a chance. Smashes him with the stiff arm. He now has 111 yards rushing, and he has busted the century mark in this season opener.
I think you have to like what you see if you're the coaching staff here. Your offense is on the field, and it looks like you got a pretty good drive going. You're just going to try and keep this thing marching, keep the clock ticking. You've got a really nice lead here late. Just want to find ways to keep the chains.
Makes a catch. Touchdown, Wolverines. And the punishment has been extended.
I got to be honest, as a guy that used to play for Steve Spurrier, I never have a problem watching offenses continue throwing the ball when they've got a big lead. And that's what you've seen in this one. They're way up on the scoreboard. This coach is still letting this guy chuck the rock. That now his 5th passing touchdown, and I believe you keep throwing it until the defense proves they can stop you.
They'll snag it just inside the 10. And the returner goes down.
Well, that is a very disappointing kickoff return. They've got to do a better job up front blocking these guys running down the field. There was just nowhere for that return man to go.
Here comes the Texas offense. We've certainly seen better performances from this group. You have to hope that they'll grow from this, but this is going to be one that they're going to kick themselves over for a while. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming.
And it's going to be difficult for this offense, man. Just where are they going to find the plays? You can tell the defense sitting back. They're playing nickel. They're playing dime. So you need some receivers to step up, make some yards after the catch, some contested plays. This offense has got to do something, and they got to do it quick.
He'll get a fresh set of downs stopped at the 31-yard line. The Longhorns come to the line in the hurry-up.
And this defense has really done a good job containing this superstar quarterback.
Trying to beat the D deep. Swatted away and broken up. A great play there by the DB.
And I absolutely love what this defense is doing, man. You know exactly what time it is. You've got a big lead. They're going to have to throw the football. So more nickels, more dimes. Bring the speed on the field and get ready to play the pass.
Here's Manning to throw. Unloads to the wideout. And it was worth going for a chunk play, but the long pass is incomplete.
You know, it's one thing to take shots early in the game when the defense may not be expecting it, but at this point, 4th quarter, you're trailing by a lot. They know you're going to do it. The defense was expecting that one. Great job in the back end.
Hart's going to spin it again. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
At this point of the game in the 4th quarter, it is going to be tough for this offense to get some completions here because now, trailing by this much, the defense is expecting pass and they're putting a whole bunch of extra DBs on the field to help them out in coverage.
Down by multiple possessions, you can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on 4th down. Manning to throw for it on 4th. Can't make the connection, and the defense gets a 4th down stop.
I think that play right there has been a big theme in this game. When it matters the most, on big-time down and distances, this defense has been able to step up and make the play when they need it most. That fourth down, great job in the back end in coverage, forcing the incompletion with a big lead now, creating a turnover on them.
And I know you can play these late game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get a W.
Running into the open space. Got enough for the first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. From the 17-yard line, threatening to score on 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. He stopped at the 14-yard line, and they'll stay on the attack from there.
The defense wins that one, and the offensive line was challenged by their coaching staff coming into this game to try and get push up front, establish the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to do a better job running than that if they're going to win this one.
They'll finally get him stopped at the 1-yard line. What a run there.
Man, this offense would really like to lean on this guy in the fourth quarter, right? They've got the lead, and you just saw his ability there, breaking a tackle. He looks like he's getting stronger as the game goes on. I'd expect him to get a few more carries here before this game's over.
And the Wolverines trying to get a touchdown on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And we have breaking news. They score yet another touchdown.
Yeah, the offense putting up more points, and guess who's jacked up? This home crowd starting the season off with offensive fireworks and looking to go 1-0. They are loving their squad.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he puts through the extra point. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they capped it off with a 1-yard plunge. Just into the end zone, and he'll bring it out. Tackled and brought down right at the 20-yard line. Good coverage there. They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. The give to the single back. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Just feeds the running back. Runs through a tackle. And he's dragged down. Trying to get everybody set with the clock still running. The gun on 3rd down. Fires to the wideout. Got his man on the right. And perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle as he gets him down at the 37. The Longhorns are in the hurry-up.
Let's go. We got some life. We made a big play, something to build off of. We need a lot of points, and we need them quickly. Time's running out. We're trailing big in this ball game.
Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. Gain of 8 yards on the play. He's too short of the 1st down. Got 8 on 1st down. Now looking at a 2nd and 2.
And the offense has a little bit of success. And what do? They push that turbo button right back on the line, ready to run another play.
Lets it fly. Makes the grab. The tackle is made, but he's got it 1st and goal from the 6. And the Longhorns go back to work after moving the chains through the air. A 1st down run in the red zone. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? He'll run it up the middle, trying to pick his way to the end zone. They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches.
This is the most important part of the field. What you did to get down here means nothing. Nice job by this defense, staying confident, staying aggressive, and forcing the third down and go.
Still some work to do.